Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the greatest third-person shooting what the hell, what was that? One of the greatest video game franchises of all time, Gears of War. We're going to be running through every single game. I'm going to be telling you guys which ones still have players on them, which ones are dead, and which ones I recommend playing in current year. So let's do this. Let's start off all the way back with Gears of War 1. Let's go. Starting off with Gears of War 1 on the Xbox 360. Now, I honestly cannot believe it. This game is nearly 20 years old now. It doesn't look it. It doesn't feel like it when I go back and try to play it. It is the one that introduced me to Gears of War, and I'm sure it was the introduction for a lot of you guys as well. Unfortunately, the game is dead, and it has been. I would honestly say this game has been dead for like 5, 6, 7 years now. You can get into matches, but there's basically two ways you can get into matches. One is through Discord. Now, there is a few servers going. I'm gonna have to try to find links for you guys and leave them down below in the description box. I was able to get into a match about a month ago, and it was via Discord. There's like a few servers going with people that just like to, they start up matches on older Gears of War games, Call of Duty, just a lot of older games. There's also a really cool feature on the Xbox. You can basically look for groups, and you can kind of like start a group, and you can set a time and try to get people to come play older games or any game that way. But yeah, if you're just going to try to hop on this game and search for matches, you most likely are not going to be able to find them. I mean, it's a shame because there is Ultimate Edition, which I'm going to get to in a second, which is like a remake of this game, you know, but the classic is the classic, right? Sometimes you just want to hop on the OG version. It's a shame too because this has received like a frame rate boost, so it actually feels and looks so good, I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't feel anything like a game that came out 20 years ago. Honestly, it feels like a game that came out like 6 or 7 years ago. If you do want to play Gears of War 1, the OG version, you're gonna have to go find a Discord server. Again, I will try to leave links down below in the description box. Yeah, that's the only way in 2023. But that's okay if Gears of War 1 is dead, because Gears of War Ultimate Edition, which is actually a remake of Gears of War 1, is still alive and well. If I had to give you guys a guess, and I'm going to be doing this throughout the video, I'm going to give you guys like there's no specific numbers. You can kind of look on different websites online, but I don't know how believable they are or how accurate, so I'm just going to kind of give you guys my guess. If I had to say, Ultimate Edition probably has somewhere around like 200 to 500 players on it every single day, most of which are going to be on the North America East server. So there is some on the West server, but I find it a little bit more difficult to find matches on that. And then maybe as far as like Europe and Brazil and all these other places, I don't really search for those, so I can't give you guys a concrete answer, but North America East does have players on this game. This was a really good remake, like one of the better remakes that I've played. It still looks phenomenal, still plays great. It was pretty faithful and true to the original Gears of War game. I didn't see anybody really complaining like they steered too far off or anything like that. And this remake got a lot of people horny for Gears of War 2 and 3 remakes, which have never come out. We're still waiting. Still fucking waiting. Collision, what the hell are you guys doing over there? Come on. But yeah, Ultimate Edition is a great time. Still one of the Gears of War games that I enjoy going back to and playing. So if you like Gears of War 1 and can't play it, then hop on this one. It's a part of Game Pass. All of these Gears of War games are in Game Pass. Next up, we got the greatest Gears of War game of all time. And every time I say that, I know somebody in the comment section is saying, fuck, it's Gears of War 3, you asshole. Well, it might be. I go back and forth, you know? Gears of War 2, Gears of War 3, Gears of War 1, they're all good. Yeah, Gears 2 is actually still active, and this one has a really, like, die-hard fan base. I swear, this game's never gonna die. Like, every single year I go back to this game, I'm like, okay, it's for sure dead. It's for sure dead. No, it's got players all the time. There's not a lot of players, but there is some. If I had to give you guys another guess, probably like 200 players max. They're only in the Guardian game mode, so if you are going to play this, you got to search for Guardian. For this game, that was the most popular game mode. It kind of like, it's really weird. I enjoyed Guardian. It's probably my favorite game mode as far as Gears of War multiplayer goes, but it seems like after Gears 2, maybe this is just me, somebody's got to let me know down in the comment section. It really seems like Guardian didn't feel the same after this. Like, they tried to bring it back in a few other Gears of War games, but I just didn't really care for it as much. But in Gears 2, with these maps and everything, it just fit perfectly. Like Guardian on Jacinto, Guardian on Blood Drive, Guardian on River, I don't know, it was perfect. One thing I do want to mention with this game is the connection is horrible, I'm not gonna lie. I'm over here on the West Coast, and anytime I try to play Gears of War 2, I'm lagging all over the place. It's worse than any other Gears game. It's worse than Gears 3, worse than Ultimate Edition. I don't know, I just cannot get a good connection anytime I play this game, which is unfortunate, but You can give it a shot yourself. Maybe you're in a different location around the world and we'll get a better connection. But yeah, Gears of War 2 does still have players on them. Not many, but still does. Then we got Gears of War 3, which is also... it's not doing too well as far as players go. If I had to say, probably like 200 to 500 players. It's got a little bit more than Gears of War 2, maybe even closer to 1,000. But again, I'm just pulling these numbers literally out of my ass. Like I'm stretching my ass and just pulling them out. So just take that with a grain of salt, you know what I mean? But yeah, Gears of War 3, another just incredible game. From the campaign to this game had beast mode. I think it's the first game that introduced that, and then the multiplayer had great maps. Some weapons that pissed me off, like the digger and sawed-off shotguns. If you use those, I swear to God, I hope you step on a Lego later on today. Even if you don't have Legos in your house, trust me, it's gonna happen. I'll make sure of it. Yeah, this game still is active. You're gonna find majority of players in Team Deathmatch, and you can find some players in King of the Hill. The connection issues are also in this one as well, but it's not as prevalent as it was in Gears of War 2. Like anytime I play a match on Gears of War 2 nowadays, it's always lagging. Like it's 99% lag rate. If I play Gears 3, it's more of like a 50-50 shot. Like some matches I'm lagging, some I'm not. So Gears of War 3 still does have players, and hopefully for a lot longer. Next up, we got everybody's favorite Gears of War game, am I right? Gears of War Judgment, and this game is dead, and it has been for quite a while now, at least the last 2-3 years. You can never find a match on this game, and there's a good reason why. Probably the weakest Gears of War game as far as multiplayer goes. Campaign was actually not bad. Multiplayer was just a mess. I didn't like it. I mean, it was COG versus COG, so there was no Locust in the multiplayer. Which, I mean, that in itself is just a mistake. The maps were actually good, the game looks gorgeous, and it plays great at 60 frames per second. It's just... And I think this was the first Gears of War game that had Overrun, which is a pretty cool mode. But yeah, the standard multiplayer, I wasn't the biggest fan of. I will admit, I did enjoy playing free-for-all on this game. In large part, just due to the maps and sniping. You're gonna it's impossible to find matches on this game. You're gonna have to like set it up yourself through Discord servers or just people that you know maybe, or create an Xbox group. So Overrun and the campaign are actually pretty solid. But yeah, let me do everybody a favor and let's move on from this. Gears of War 4. Now, I will say this, the campaign, wasn't a huge fan of it. I think it's better than Gears 5's campaign, but honestly, they kind of blend together, and I kind of forget what happens in each of them. Anyways, they're not as good as the original trilogy. I'm sure we can all agree on that. The multiplayer goes, it is still active. You can find players in Team Deathmatch, as well as some of the other game modes. I don't know how many players on this. If I had to give you guys a guess, I would say like 2,000 to 5,000, somewhere in that range. I do think it's close to Gears 5 as far as player base goes. I'd give the slight edge to Gears 5 as far as the amount of players still on these games. But I would give a huge edge to this game as far as which one I enjoy more. Gears 4 multiplayer, probably the fastest movement in the series. Fantastic maps, and then the Coalition brought back so many good classic maps to this game. I think Security's in it, Blood Drive, a few other classics. It just plays so much better than Gears 5 in my opinion, and if you're somebody like me, like I love Gears of War 2, but every time I go back to that game I'm lagging a lot, so I just go on Gears 4. Obviously the games feel a lot different, but at least you're getting a lot of the maps from Gears 2 in this game, and even Gears 3, like they incorporated a lot of the maps into this game. So I will say it right now, if you guys are looking to play a Gears of War multiplayer in 2023, I still think this is the best one to go to. The game still holds up, of course, it's not even that old. I think it's only like 6 or 7 years old. Looks breathtaking, movement is fluid as ever, and in my opinion, the last solid Gears of War game when it comes to multiplayer. Gears of War 5. Now, what do I say about this game? I'm going to try to keep it nice, but not the biggest fan of this one. I just didn't really care for it. I always go back to Gears 4 anytime I have the itch to play a Gears of War game. It's not nearly as bad as I initially thought it was. Like, when this game came out, I was all hyped and everything, played the campaign, played multiplayer, and then I kind of just stopped playing it for a few years. And only recently, maybe last year, started playing it again. In my opinion, the free-for-all is the funnest game mode to play on this. If you're going to play, like, regular Team Deathmatch, there's still a lot of players on the game. Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, those kind of game modes. The reason I'm not a big fan of TDM in this game is because I believe it's 4v4 for whatever reason. They like took a player off each team, and I just prefer 5v5. Like the older Gears of War games were all 5v5. Gears of War 4, Team Deathmatch is 5v5. I don't know. Is that just me? Does anybody else like 5v5 better than 4v4? As far as maps go in this game, the maps are actually pretty fun. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the launch maps in this game, but again, the Coalition added so much content to this game. They've at least added like 10 to 15 new maps. They've brought back so many good ones. Honestly, you could like hop on this game and not even play a Gears 5 map. Like you could play a bunch of classics that they've brought back. Again, I would recommend Gears 4 over this game. If you're a little bit more of a casual Gears of War player and just want to dip your nipple in the Gears of War franchise, then you might want to play this one. And the reason I say that is because Gears 4, I would say, has a little bit less of a player count than this game. So there's a lot of diehard Gears of War fans on like the older Gears of War games. So if you're somebody that's just jumping in for the first time, you're going to want to play Gears 5 because there's just a few more noobs for you to kill, you know what I mean? But yeah, this game is still active, the most recent Gears of War game, so that's just a given. It's still going to have players on it. So that was every single Gears of War game in 2023. Just wanted to show you guys which ones still have players on them, which ones I recommend playing, and something I didn't really note was the Horde mode. If you're trying to find players via public matches in Horde, you're not going to have any luck for Gears 2. Gears 3 was pretty hard to find anybody. 4 and 5 would definitely be your best bet for Horde mode. So if anybody's looking to play these games online, Horde matches with random people, first of all, good luck talking to those people. And second of all, yeah, you want to play Gears 4 or 5 for that. Or you can just create a group. I've seen so many groups on Xbox or just Discord servers of people asking, do you want to play Horde mode on Gears 2 or Gears 3? That's the best way to set up a match for that. I just want to say this before I close the video. Where in the shit is my Gears of War collection? I want the Marcus Phoenix collection already. I've been waiting for 5 years for that shit, and I just can't get it. I want Gears of War 2 remastered. I want Gears of War 3 remastered with the multiplayers intact. Updated graphics. Please. 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 I don't know if it's going to happen at this point. I think the Coalition is working on Gears of War 6. Honestly, guys, if you're a fan of Gears of War like I am, we got to hope that Gears 6 is a success because I am kind of scared for this franchise. This is my favorite video game franchise ever. And it just hasn't been looking great for like the last, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. So I'm a little skeptical and I'm a little worried. If Gears 6 isn't great, then who knows if we'll ever see another Gears game. We probably will, but it might not be for like a long ass time. Also, let me know down in the comment section. I want to know give me your top 2 or 3 favorite Gears of War games in order. Give me them in order. Don't just name them. I want to see 1, 2, 3. Favorite Gears of War games. You can do a campaign list and a multiplayer list. Leave a like on this video if you guys could and subscribe if you guys are new. Peace.